We have team coverage of the snow for you this morning. KOMO Steve McCarran, Jackie Kent, and Lee Stoll are all out in the elements this morning. Plus, meteorologist Kristen Clark tracking the snow in the Weather Center for us. We do begin our coverage in Seattle with KOMO's Jackie Kent. Jackie, some pretty good-sized snowflakes falling in earlier in Seattle this morning.
Yeah, and still getting some light snow here on Queen Anne. Plenty of snow-covered windshields all around me. We've also seen plenty of businesses shoveling their sidewalks. And I got to tell you, people that have been out here all morning are loving this winter wonderland, and you can't blame them. We ran into one woman walking her dog Mary to enjoy the weather, grab some groceries. She's hoping for even more snow so she and her friends can go sledding. She's anticipating her plans later will get canceled depending on how much snow accumulates, and she's also keeping an eye on the roads.
I only have a little bit of experience driving in the snow, so I will be avoiding that.
She's not the only one who feels that way. We've seen drivers taking their time this morning heading down Queen Anne Hill. We know from the past that it's common for cars to lose traction in slick spots like that where it's too steep for the snow plows. Those plows do get all of the major thoroughfares and emergency routes. Back here on Queen Anne Avenue, the road is slushy and cars don't be seeming to have any trouble right now. For now, live on Queen Anne, Jackie Kent, KOMO News.
All right, that's some good news, Jackie. Thank you. Let's move a little farther north now to Shoreline, where we find KOMO Steve McCarran live. Steve, you've been out there driving around that part of King County since early this morning. How are things faring for you?
Oh, the snow is still coming down right now, Kelly. If you woke up this morning, looked out the window and thought, where's the snow? Well, we just have to wait a little bit. Parts of Shoreline, especially the northern parts of Seattle, it has really been coming down for probably the past 90 minutes to 2 hours almost this morning, especially in northern parts of King County. We're in Shoreline here. The snow fell for about 30 minutes to an hour this morning, stopped a little bit, and now it's started once again. As you can see on the road here along Aurora Avenue North, it is sticking to the ground, easily a trace as some of these plow trucks have been coming through trying to keep these roads clear. In some of the side streets, it's about 1 inch to 2 inches and still going.
It is one of the many signs of trouble emerging out of the winter blast that started blanketing parts of North King County by mid-morning. An articulated bus stuck in a difficult position along North 160th and Shoreline with fresh snow covering the ground. In Bothell, police say they've already been responding to several crashes, a number of them involving drivers who've lost control. If you must drive, they urge you to reduce your speed and use extreme caution. Washed Up says road conditions are very challenging in some spots, especially the more north you go. We've seen reports of fresh, steady snow falling in Clyde Hill, West Seattle, and across parts of the metro area. It's a much different picture than what we saw early this morning when rain fell on cars already blanketed with snow from Monday and Sunday nights in Seattle's North Park and Queen Anne neighborhoods and the Shoreline Park and Ride. Right now, firefighters not only dealing with crashes and spinouts, but down power lines like this one in North Bend. It appears it sparked a small fire on Main Avenue South. Eastside Fire and Rescue urging you to be aware of those power lines as this winter weather continues.
And a live look at one of the metro buses that is just driving down Aurora Avenue North here, followed by a couple of plowed trucks, really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right in a row there. They've been going up and down Aurora Avenue North here for the past little while here. This is the second round that we've seen just in the past 30 minutes or so. So the snow is already impacting a number of bus routes across the region. King County Metro says its east and north King County buses now operating on snow reroutes because of how bad the roads have gotten in the last couple of hours or so. A number of Sound Transit and community transit routes also operating on snow routes right now, and that will likely continue for some time to come with the snow continuing to fall this morning. Live in Shoreline, Steve McCarran, KOMO News.
All right, thanks, Steve. Good job out there. You see what it's looking like on the surface streets. This is what it's looking like on the highways. This is actually one of the better shots. 405 here in the Bothell area, headed toward Kirkland. But I'll tell you, 405 is quite treacherous right now. Take a look at the map. Very red, orange here in both the northbound lanes and southbound lanes. It's due to compact heavy snow and ice blanketing the freeway. I've seen multiple stalled cars and a crash. 405 southbound. Right now, the entry ramp to Highway 522 currently blocked. That's going going to impact drivers maybe leaving Woodinville, headed toward the Bothell area. I-5 out of Snohomish County also looking quite tough. Both those northbound lanes and southbound lanes of I-5 are quite busy right now, especially where I-5 meets 104 just north of the Shoreline area. Down south, now South King County near SeaTac, quite busy as well. I-5 in the Tukwila area right near the Duwamish curve. Looks like the southbound lanes are tougher than the northbound lanes right now. If you need to drive, make sure you're just using caution, increasing your following distance. I'll be sure to give you an update if anything happens.
Yeah, we'll see how it holds up into this afternoon, too. Thanks, Tyra. Conditions will only get worse as you head farther north. Lee Stoll and her photographer racked up the miles this morning getting up to Skagit County. She is live in Marysville with a look at the treacherous drive even on the freeway. Lee?
Yeah, good morning. We actually came back from Mount Vernon because we didn't want to get stuck the way we saw so many drivers struggling up in Skagit County. Take a look. We are just about to pop on to I-5 up here near the Tulalip Casino. And honestly, these are some of the clearest conditions we have seen all morning long. It has been quite a mess. Heading north to Mount Vernon, the freeway doesn't look much better than some of the worst days we've seen on Snoqualmie Pass. Broad Street exit right there at Mount Vernon. It was just too much for drivers, whether they had two-wheel drive or they were 18-wheelers. Snohomish County, they have plows fanned out. The city of Everett has 300 lane miles to clear. That means if a road has 4 lanes, they have to hit it 4 times. The county crews in Snohomish, they say they've covered 9,000 miles since Sunday. Tim Birmingham, he was clearing off his cars and his driveway to take his wife to a doctor's appointment this morning. Not too disappointed to see the snow in Mount Vernon. What do you think of all of this snow?
It's about time. It's gone all around us for a week or more, and here we have it our own.
They were just waiting for their time. Now in Marysville, business owners, they were out before sunrise clearing parking lots. We spoke to a physical therapist who says clients started showing up at 6 a.m. for appointments they just can't cancel because it's snowing. So if you don't see a lot of snow yet where you are, don't be fooled. Maybe it's not so deep in some areas, but as we've been driving around in the North Sound this morning, the issue for us at least has been the temperatures. Top temperature we've seen all morning long, 33 degrees. The lowest that we saw in Mount Vernon, 24 degrees. So nothing is melting anytime soon. Back to you.
It's a chilly one. Now for a check on the driving conditions at the mountain passes. You want to plan for a slow trip across both Snoqualmie and Stevens Pass. Let's start with Snoqualmie Pass right now, where chains are required for all vehicles except all-wheel drive. There's snow and slush and ice on Interstate 90 and at the summit. At Stevens Pass, the same driving restrictions with chains required. There's compact snow and ice along the highway too, along with heavy snow falling and gusty winds. We will keep updating you on the past conditions throughout this newscast. We'll be sure to update that in just a few minutes here, too. Let's get a check with Kristen now for the very latest on this storm and what we can expect as we move into our afternoon.
Kelly, I tell you what, this has been such a fun yet challenging forecast for Western Washington. Some of the snowfall reports coming in are impressive. Semiahmoo, 15 inches of snow, 10 inches as verified in Port Angeles, and Anacortes coming in at 8 inches. Camano, Whidbey Island coming out big there. Everett 2.5, Bainbridge Island about 1.5, and I just measured here in KOMO Plaza a ½ inch of snow, and it's still snowing outside here at the base of the Space Needle. So looking at the statewide radar, it is our corner of the state here dealing with the adverse travel conditions. Now the snow has all but ended north of Everett with some steam fog going on near Bellingham Bay and Port Angeles. You are now in the clear of snow, but still actively snowing. Lightly, Shoreline, Bellevue, Seattle, much of I-90 in the snow. Same across Bainbridge Island, Bremerton, parts of Paulsbo, but there's still a very sharp cutoff to who's seeing the snow and who's getting by with plain rain. That is the case near Edgewood, the Renton area, Federal Way, all the way south into Puyallup, Spanaway. You get by with no snow, just all rain there in South Sound. Now, as we look at our futurecast here, starting at noon, there's the back edge of the snow, slowly clearing from northwest to southeast. But here's 1 o'clock. There is going to be a brief window of opportunity for maybe Tacoma, the northeast part of Pierce County, maybe close to Spanaway, to see maybe a little wet snow at the tail end of the event. It's only going to last like an hour. The snow begins to retreat back into the Cascades here. Maybe still snowing in Eatonville, North Bend by 3 o'clock or so, but 5 o'clock, heaviest snow in the Cascades eases, but we are going to start to feel a serious chill here in the days to come. Our temperatures only tumble from here on out. We should be near the freezing mark for the rest of this afternoon and near record lows tonight. Eyeing up Bellingham, a forecast low of 9. The record low is 8, set back in 1990. In the teens there in Friday Harbor, obviously with this cold in place, this is a cause for concern. Even if you're just seeing wet roads in Olympia, that low of 27 is going to result in ice. And this is a trend that will continue through at least Friday with sub-freezing conditions, the coldest day being Thursday as we're seeing daytime temperatures hold in the mid-20s. We eventually climb out of the ice box by the holiday weekend, but that comes with its own problem. We're tracking the next storm on Friday, starting off as an icy mix before steady rain even in the mountains may increase the concern for river rises and maybe an avalanche threat in the Cascades by the end of the holiday weekend.
And you know, Kristen, we are just learning the eastbound lanes of the pass at Snoqualmie Pass are actually closed right now. Tyra will bring us the latest on that momentarily. A live look from the airport right now at SeaTac. The weather impacting flights out this morning. More than 200 flights either canceled or delayed so far, and you can tell why. That snow coming down at a pretty good clip. Many of those cancellations involving Alaska Airlines. So if you have a trip out today, you will want to check early on the status of that flight. A live look right now where we are keeping a close eye on the roads this morning as well as the snow comes down. This is I-5 at Ashway Park and Ride. You can see all that snow on the side and what appears to be a stalled semi, at least at what I'm looking at right here. We'll learn to find out what this situation is, but we will have updates on the conditions throughout the newscast right now and online at KOMOnews.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. We mentioned it just before the break, but right now, eastbound I-90 to Snoqualmie Pass is closed because of heavy snow. You can see the visibility reduced here pretty significantly as well. Westbound remains open with chains required for all vehicles except those with all-wheel drive. We'll keep you updated as we get that view from our watchdog camera at East Snoqualmie Summit right now. Let's also give you another live look outside and see what we have here. A very snowy downtown Seattle right now. The snow is coming down pretty hard and then sticking a little bit, kind of depending here in our downtown core. Kristen, what's the very latest? What are you seeing?
You know, for a time this morning, everybody was like, Seattle snow? What snow? Well, I was like, just wait, it's coming. And sure enough, thankfully, those big fat flakes did verify with a ½ inch right now outside KOMO Plaza at the base of the Space Needle. But Lyndon, shout out to you in Whatcom County. You had blizzard conditions for a time this morning. Now, the official definition of a blizzard is sustained winds of 35 miles per hour with heavy snow and visibility less than ¼ mile for at least 3 hours. That criteria was met here in Lyndon for a time this morning, and they saw over 1 foot of snow in parts of Whatcom County. That has all but ended from Bellingham, Mount Vernon, Everett into Port Angeles. Port Angeles, a solid 10 inches of plowable snow there, as expected. But the tail end of the snow is just about clearing Snohomish County, and it's now across northern King County, just sitting along and north of I-90. There is still that defined cutoff to the snow as you travel south through Bonnie Lake, Tacoma, Spanaway. But you, too, may momentarily change over to snow here within the next hour or two. This is our futurecast starting at noon today. And the back edge of the snow as it slowly sags south and east may temporarily change parts of Tacoma, Pierce County over to a period of snow, maybe around 1, 2 o'clock this afternoon. Maybe no such luck in Olympia, Thurston County, if you're fingers crossed wishing for snow. I don't think that's going to happen there, as well as in Centralia, Lewis County. By 2 o'clock, could be snowing in Eatonville, North Bend still, but much of the lowlands, we are done with the snow here by mid-afternoon. We've seen snowfall rates at the Cascade Passes at upwards of 2 inches per hour. That intensity will start to wane throughout the afternoon and evening hours. Maybe seeing an improvement to past travel, but they've seen so much snow up there, easily over 1 foot. It's going to take some time to really recuperate after that. Low temperatures tonight. We go into the single digits in Bellingham. That could be close to the record low of 8 in Bellingham. How about Omak? Sub-0 at -1 tonight. Single digits Wenatchee and Yakima. So obviously, with this deep chill settling in on the backside of this snowstorm tonight, any wet roads, snow-covered roads, they're going to turn quite icy here into the day tomorrow. And temperatures on Wednesday, despite the sunshine, barely break the freezing mark. I mean, we could stay in the teens in Bellingham easily, especially with that deep, fresh blanket of snow. 26 in Everett, 30 in Seattle. So icy road conditions, I fear, is going to be the case Wednesday through much of Thursday. And then we track this. There's going to be some Pacific moisture interacting with this lingering cold air early Friday morning to maybe set the stage of a freezing rain, sleet, snow mix to occur. We could see pockets of snow, Hood Canal and areas north of Everett once again, to result in maybe some slick roads for a time Friday before we see rapid warming and a changeover to all rain Christmas Eve Saturday and Christmas Day Sunday. Look at how warm conditions get. So all that snow that you may see out your window could melt by Christmas Day. So the jury is still out whether we will see a white Christmas after all this year. But concern is in place that with the arrival of that rain late in the holiday weekend, even in the mountains, that will increase the river levels potentially and also the avalanche danger in the Cascade Mountains, Kelly, into early next week.
Hi, everyone. I'm Preston Phillips from KOMO News. Thanks for checking out the KOMO YouTube channel. You can see more of our videos right here by clicking on the video links for more news from the Seattle area and Western Washington. Oh, and don't forget to click the subscribe button below so you don't miss our YouTube updates.